2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone, who rule very well, very beautifully. Double salutations to the Akim out here pushing his gospel in truth and in sincerity to the best of their ability given to them by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the elect scattered abroad. May the election of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Lord willing, fall upon 8 houses. This is the brother Kwana Wath, come back at you, Lord will, with the edifying lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Lord will, it is edifying. Lord will, it is straight to the point. And this damn devil, man, more and more, information, right, about who this damn devil is and what he has ultimately done, right, to the children of Israel, right, the Lord's people, right, the apple of the Lord's eye, right, is ultimately coming out. I was with the brothers yesterday, man, and, one of the brothers that's on the other side, is a brother named Yakal, right, beautiful brother, man, through the spirit, right, he's actually, me and the brother Yuana's cousin, right, and he sent me this video yesterday, which I'm about to play it. I'll play most of it, but nonetheless, it ultimately shows you, right, the hatred, right, that Esau Edom has and still has today, right, has had and still has today for the children of Israel, man, right, as it says in Ezekiel, right, let's grab it real quick. Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 5. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end, right? So again, that's, and that's the point, right? The point was, the fact that Esau Edom, has a perpetual and everlasting hatred for the children of Israel, right? For again, the apple of the Lord's eye, man. Scriptures say that they have forwarded the affliction. Yes, right? We turned our back on the Lord, right? And we're in the product of our disobedience, right? We're in, captivity because we went off, right? So what did the Lord do, right? Just as he did it, many times before, right? He put us in captivity, right, under these different nations, right, to punish us, man. And this, ultimately was the last straw, right? He put us under, Esau Edom, which is the worst of all the captivities that we've ever been in, right? He put us into this captivity, right, as sort of like a last straw, but Esau Edom went above and beyond what he was supposed to do, man. Matter of fact, I'll grab that since I quoted it. Zechariah chapter 1 and verse 15. And I'm going to grab this video, but it is kind of long. It's about 4 minutes, it's a 6-minute video, but I'm only going to play about maybe just shy of 5 minutes of it, right? This is Zechariah 1 and 15. It says, and I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped for the affliction, right? Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed so-called white man, the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, right? He did more than he was supposed to, right? And again, in this video, we're going to see, one, that hatred, and two, him doing just that, right? Doing more than he was supposed to do, right? Because Esau Edom, he has the scriptures, man. He has the books, right? And he very well could apply the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. But we understand that it was not for him to do so. This book is strictly for the Israelites, which today would be the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? As well as you Israelite foreigners, right? You Israelites that have been scattered into these other nations, right? This is who it's for, right? This is who Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai has deemed the apple of his eye. But again, Esau Edom, right? Again, he has the books, but yet he doesn't keep the law, such commandments, right? That were given. He's completely and utterly contrary to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Everything that he does is wicked and evil, man. you know, and we're going to see that evil, right? And before I play this video, right, this is strictly, you know, for Fair Use Act, right? Strictly for education purposes, not for monetary gain, right? Again, this is Fair Use Act.
You're listening to Ill Poet Society.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. On March 23rd, 1944 in Alkaloo, South Carolina, these two white girls was riding bikes by the tracks that separate the whites and blacks. They was looking for maypop flowers, but within hours they came up missing. Wishing that I had never told the sheriff that I had seen them, the white girls' bodies turned up the next day in a ditch not too far from where I stay. I was even part of the search to find them, but I found myself being blamed for the murder of Betty June Binnicker and Mary Emma Thames, ages 11 and 8. I began to panic as the white folks' rage raced at a pace too swift for me to even contemplate getting someplace safe. And before I could even count to 5, I heard somebody say the nigger boy was the last one to see him alive. I wanted to run, but my feet couldn't move. So I couldn't run, and there was no point at this point because I was quickly surrounded by a white mob with guns. I resigned myself to the fact that I was going to be lynched that very instant, but in that same instant, the sheriff grabbed me and took me to jail. My name is George Junius Stinney Jr., and I'm being arrested for the killing of Betty June Binnicker and Mary Emma Thames, ages 11 and 8. The mob followed us all the way to the jail. Meanwhile, I'm crying for my life and wanted to see my mother, cause I wasn't guilty of nothing but being in the wrong place at the wrong time while being the wrong color. Small for my age, I was slightly built, but the interrogation proceedings began with a bunch of questions centered around the presumption of my guilt. You see, the good old boy reasoning wouldn't allow them to realize that at 5'1", 95 pounds, there was no way I could wrestle both girls to the ground, somehow manage to crush the skull of one while simultaneously subduing the other, and transporting both bodies away from the scene in broad daylight without being seen. But the resolve of the sheriff could not be understated because he decided he was leaving that room with a confession even if he had to fabricate it. He offered me ice cream and said that I could go home and he'd forget it if I just admit that I did it. Now, after hours of questioning with fear, exhaustion, and the naivete of my age combining to compromise my judgment, I admitted being the perpetrator of the incident and in that very instant relinquished my innocence. The sheriff left the room and I heard him say he just confessed that he was after sex. The little nigger boy just put the noose around his own neck. Best bet we get him to Charleston and out of sight. The lynch mob won't let the nigger survive the night. My name is George Junius Stinney Jr., and I'm being charged with the killing of Betty June Binnicker and Mary Emma Thames, ages 11 and 8. The next morning I was sitting in my cell and I heard an officer tell another that my father had lost his job, and he and my family had left town the previous night in fear of their lives. I hadn't signed anything and no one talked to me about an attorney, but the jury selection began at 10, ended around 12 for the trial itself to start at 2:30. I couldn't do no bargaining and I wasn't in a position to, and that's probably how my defense attorney ended up being the county tax commissioner. Now, blacks were not allowed in the courtroom, so you know there were none on the jury. Quick, fast, and in a hurry with no witnesses, transcripts, written confession, or evidence. After 10 minutes, I was sentenced to death with no hesitance. My name is George Junius Stinney Jr., and I have just been convicted of the double homicide of Betty June Binnicker and Mary Emma Thames, ages 11 and 8. By the time June 16th came, I resigned myself to the fact that I was going to die and convinced myself that I was not going to give them white folks the satisfaction of seeing me cry. Of this crime, I'm innocent. I done said it from the beginning, and my contention is not diminished one bit by your bigoted justice system or a death sentence from an all-white jury that deliberated my innocence for a whole of 10 minutes. I grabbed my Bible, and the guards walked me down the hall. A door at the end of the hall is all I saw. I walked in the room and handed the attendant my Bible and took a seat. But I was so small, the straps kept falling off and sliding down around my feet. The attendant looked at me and froze. I was too short to reach the face mask and electrodes. He took a second look and sat me on top of a stack of books. He stretched the electrodes to the limit to reach my head and cover my face with the mask is what he did, all of which was still too big. Then he pulled the switch. My body convulsed and twitched so much that my head came from under the bonnet, exposing my smoking nasal cavity and sizzling vomit. After 4 minutes, he turned off the power and my head lay tilted, with a sunken face, singed hair, and an eye missing. I'm sharing this with you so I'm not forgotten and the justice system is held accountable and in shame. Even though I may be long gone, don't give up trying to clear my name. My name is George Junius Stinney Jr., and I was executed for the double homicide of Betty June Binnicker and Mary Emma Thames, ages 11 and 8. and to this day, at 14, the youngest ever to be executed in the United States.
Who? Call law, yeah, about Shemal Shot positive 441. You know, and this is what the young boy, you know, ultimately looked like, man. You know, young little boy, man. You know, and Esau Edom is ultimately, you know what I mean. Again, is and if you were watching video, it said he was the one that called, man. He was the one that ultimately, you know, pointed out that, hey, this is what, and they automatically, oh, you're that, you know, some, you know, and man, you know, we gonna hem you up. You're the one that did it automatically. Don't want to seek no justice. Don't want to go and investigate and see what happened, who the real perpetrator is, right? But just look at Jake and say, you know what, you're automatically a criminal. And that brings me to, another video I had watched earlier. I think it was earlier this morning or possibly last night. It was a Jake, right? You know, he has. I'm assuming he might, you know, have his own tow company or whatever it may be. But in the video, he was towing a Small Hats car, right? He got in a call, you know what I mean? He was backing up, right? He had already put his, you know, sometimes they ain't even got to get out of the car, right? They lower the stuff, right? They back up, it goes under the car, and, you know, they ultimately lift up the car. Well, he was about to lift up the car when a Small Hat came out the house, right? And because he was parked in the street, right? You're not supposed to be parked in the street, or at least where they're at. And he hopped in the car and started to back the car up and destroyed, right, the equipment, you know, for towing a car that was attached to the truck that the Jake was in, you know, and he gets out, Jake's recording him, and, you know, the Small Hat has, his gun in his hand, right, which goes back to Genesis, the 27th chapter, right, that he lives, right, by the gun, man. He lives by the sword, right, which the modern day sword is the gun, right? So he had it in his, you know, in his pocket. He wasn't even necessarily showing it, but, you know, Jake was telling him put it back, and, you know, he shoved it in his pocket real quick, you know, got back in his car, you know, and proceeded to, you know, continue to drive, you know, and pull the, you know, go in reverse and destroy, you know, the equipment again for towing these cars, man. And he, you know, as he was doing so, he was calling Jake a criminal when Jake was just doing his job, man. Right? But again, that goes back to, you know, Esau Edom's perpetual hatred for Jake, man. And we see it constantly, man. Right? We see it constantly. This is just another, you know, Emmett Till event, man. Right? And by that, I mean, when you look at Emmett Till case, right, you had a grown woman, right? I think Emmett Till was 9 years old at the time, man. You know, she had came out and said, you know, that Emmett Till, you know, the little boy had whistled at her, man, and called her baby or whatever it was, man. I don't know the full details. I just know, right, a little bit, you know. And what happened is they rioted. They beat that little boy, you know. They beat him unrecognizable, man, right, because of what she had said. And what happened, right? Again, Luke 8 and 17, Luke 12 and 2, there's nothing that is hid that shall not be made manifest. It came out, right, that when, you know, the lady that had, you know, accused them until of doing so, right, it came out that she ultimately lied, right? That she fucking lied on Emmett Till and got him killed for absolutely no fucking reason, man. You know? And again, this is just another instance of that. God, Jake is dumb as fuck. This bitch almost hit my car trying to pull in. Fucking dumb. Man, it would be a fucking goddamn women, man. But anyways, but yeah, man. You know, it's just another Emmett Till case, man. Right? Esau Edom ultimately, again, right, conjuring up fucking lies and deception, right, in order to punish, you know, Jake, man. Right? For no fucking reason, man. Right? And do you think that these people who put him to death got held accountable, right, and were put in jail and got held accountable for what they did? No, man. Hell no. Let's go to this, man. Right? Because it doesn't just stop there, man. Right? Let's go to Zechariah, the 5th chapter, and verse 11. It says, Zechariah 5 and 11. Zechariah 11 and 5. Zechariah 11 and verse 5, it says, whose oppressors slay them, right? And we understand that we're being oppressed by Esau Edom, right? So our oppressors are Esau Edom. It says whose oppressors, it's like whose possessors, right? Possessors, right? Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. So Esau will come and kill us, right? He'll come and do his worst to us, but then turn around and say, oh no, like some of these cops, oh, he did it because he was in fear of his life or whatever it may be, So there's no proper justice that ultimately gets brought out, right? Esau Edom ultimately, he's his own judge, jury, and executioner, right? But hardly ever does he ever reach the executioner part, right? He usually acquits his own self, but the Lord, right, sees all this, man, right? The Lord is not going to let this damn devil get away with what, he continues to do, man, right? Let's go to this. Let's read the rest of this. Zechariah 11:5 says, who possess or slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them say, blessed be Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. That's right, man. So let's go to this, because again, the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, he's seeing what Esau Edom is doing, and even though Esau Edom acquits himself, hey, the Lord's not going to quit this damn devil, man, right? Nahum 1:3, the Lord is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. And we understand that Esau Edom, he's the wicked, right? He is the son of perdition who is being revealed in these times, man, right? He's not your Esau Edom, right? Beginning with you, elites, you're not going to be able to get away with what you have done, right? You are going to get punished. You will be touched, man, by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, right? And your punishment is going to come in the form of, right, you being put into captivity, man, right? Pursuant to, and that's really the point. Let's go to this, right? Pursuant to Psalms 149, and we'll start at verse 5. It says, let the saints be joyful in glory, and let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand. And right now, right, we got a spiritual sword, which is scriptures, man. And soon we're going to have a physical sword, man, right? Physical sword, right? To cut you damn devils, man, asunder, right? Verse 7 says, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, right? To execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all the saints, praise ye the Lord, right? So again, this is the judgment that's ultimately going to come to you damn devils, man, right? Because you want to continue to touch the apple of the Lord's eye, and you're gonna have to pay for that, man. You damn devils, you acquit yourselves, man, but you not knowing that the Lord is not acquitting you, man, right? And we're coming to the end of your kingdom. You're gonna have to deal and face your punishment, man. This is part of your punishment, right? You going into captivity and you serving us, man. You being our slaves, right? Because you kill us, man, and we're your slaves as of right now. But you have to understand, the Lord is righteous, man, right? You're not going to just sit here and continue to commit evils, right, and think that there's not going to be a punishment. If the Lord is willing to punish the apple of his eye for what they did, right, for what we did, or how much more somebody he doesn't give a fuck about, man. Of course you're going to have to pay, man. You damn devils got something coming for you, man, and that's slavery, man, right? He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, man, right? All these things that have happened to the Israelites is going to happen unto you. That's part of the curses, man, right? Let's go to Deuteronomy 30 and verse 7. It says, and the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee, man. And who's the number one hater of the Israelites, man? Esau Edom, right? So Esau Edom, you gonna have to pay, man, right? This is just one of very many things that you have swept under the rug, right? And ultimately tried to, prevent from coming out. But again, the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is having this information come out, man. And we'll end it with this. I didn't want to make this too long. This is Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 10. It says, but I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. Right, man. Right. At one point, you were able to, ultimately, right, deceive the world and sweep all these things that you have done under the rug, but not anymore, man. Right. All this information is coming out, man. And you're gonna have to pay for that. Right. It says, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. That's right, man. So again, right, all this information is coming out, and you're going to have to pay for that, Esau. You're going to have to pay for every single thing, right? The Lord is not going to sit here and forget what you have done, right? And you can read that in Psalms, I think that's Psalms 109. Matter of fact, let's grab it. Psalms 109, I think it's verse... Right, this is Psalms 109. We'll start at verse 13. It says, let his posterity be cut off, and in the generation following, let their name be blotted out. Right? It says, let the iniquity of his fathers be remembered before the Lord, and let not the sin of his mother be blotted out. Right? So again, the Lord is going to continue to remember, right, all the things that you have done. There's no way that you can sit here. It doesn't matter. You get rid of critical race theory. You can have these videos, right, coming out trying to teach the people about how slavery ultimately benefited the slaves, and which is all bullshit, right? You can do whatever you want, but the truth is still there, man. Right? And as it says in 1 Esdras, the 4th chapter, hey, the truth conquereth all, man. And the truth is coming out, man. Conquering your fucking lies. Conquering your deception, Verse 15, here's a point. It says, let them be before Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai continually, that he may cut off the memory of them from the earth. And this is what's happening, right? The Lord is ultimately starting to, chase this damn devil out of the world, man. Right? You got the Hamite nations, right, or denying Esau, Edom, and his system, right, and his agenda that he's pushing. Want nothing to do with them, man. They even just came out, right, with chants talking about killing the white man, the white farmer, So your downfall is coming soon, man. It's coming soon. Enjoy the last little bit of living good that you got, man. Right? And I'm speaking to you elites. These lower Edomites, man, they don't really know too much, man. Right? And they're going through it too with the high prices and so on and so forth. But nonetheless, right, this is speaking directly to you elites. Enjoy the last little bit of time that you have left, man, because you ain't got too much longer. Right? Soon you're gonna be a slave. Soon you're gonna be what do they call that? Fuck. Yeah, man, you're just gonna be a slave, man. You're gonna be serving us, man. You're going to be kissing the dust of our feet, man. That's your end all be all, man. The tides are turning, man. So with that, Lord will is edifying, Lord will straight to the point. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Rechak Wadash, double honor to the elder apostles, the elder bishops, the great millstone. Till next time I see Shalom.